What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So come by and say hello. Okay, I wanted to talk about DEC today and where we've been and where we can look forward to. Now, the main thing, and probably will end up being the title of this video, is why I believe that DEC will not go above its peg for a long time after the airdrop ends. Now, this has to do with the basic fact that when we go below the peg, most likely, and we've already been below the peg, as you can see here during the little Luna Terra crash over the past couple of weeks. And so if we get whatever happens with the rest of the market, I do believe that DEC will go below its peg just due to the fact that utility is going to end in about 2 months, a little over 2 months at this point in time. So yes, we are back above the peg at this point in time, but that is just because there's still utility there. So people are still buying in because the risk to their assets being, going back down to the peg is very little compared to the amount that they can still gain over the next couple of months, right? That APR is still very high. I think in the last, in the very high hundreds or maybe even 200% still. So again, the focus of this is what happens afterwards, right? So you're going to get this massive flooding on the market where DEC will lose its primary utility, and therefore many people will end up dumping it, selling it for cards, buying packs, right? That could be a big thing, or burning it through things like guilds or potions. Now, I want to focus on the pack idea because I think a lot of DEC is going to end up in that option, right? So the team has now re-enabled DEC purchases, so you can purchase a Chaos Legion pack for 4,000 credits or 4,000 DEC. Now, when DEC is above its peg, right, as it is right now, you'd be paying roughly like $4.40 per pack. So nobody's going to take this deal, right? They're going to go and convert the DEC to credits because then you end up paying the $4 rather than the $4.40. But where this gets appealing is once DEC goes back below its peg, so we go less than 0.001, then all of a sudden you can start now buying packs with DEC for less than the actual retail value. So for example, at that point in time, if I can buy DEC for 0.00075, right? So it's down 25% from its peg. I can go and essentially buy 4,000 DEC for $3 and then flip that around and buy a pack. So there's going to be some interesting arbitrage that happens there. But the focus for me is what is going to happen to that DEC after it is used to purchase a pack, because it is not burned. That is technically company revenue, right? The selling or the sales of Chaos Legion packs are company revenue. The sales of previous packs, like I should say previous mini editions, right? So Dice and then the upcoming Rift Watchers, those are not going to be company revenue. So Dice was purchased with DEC and was used as a DEC sync because all DEC was burned. So the company, after going through all that effort to create the cards, got zero revenue out of that. That is more so just an economy balancing thing that they do. Now, in the future, for Rift Watchers, all of the SPS that's going to be spent on Rift Watchers is going to go into the DAO. The team doesn't receive any of this as company revenue. But the major editions, right, or the core editions as they're called, will always be company revenue. So Untamed, Chaos Legion, and then the upcoming Rebellion. So the company is willing to take the hit on this. They are backing DEC as a stable coin with their product, different from how, for example, Terra was backed with really just another coin. So in this way, we should stay close. I would think we should stay relatively close to the peg from the bottom side, right, or from a bottom potential, just because of the fact that there should be demand. Ideally, again, unless the game really sputters out, or if we just hit into a very deep bear market. But if there's always going to be an opportunity to buy packs from the main site for less than $4, I think people are going to go for it, right? So why pay for the 4K credits, which is $4, when you can come in and buy DEC at a discount and essentially get discounted packs through that? So that will be the nice kind of balancing from the bottom end, from the low end. Now, from the top end, people are always wondering, well, why can't DEC run up? Like maybe there'll be some other utility that it'll go up. And sure, that could be the case, but the team doesn't want DEC to go up too high again. And the main reason, and this isn't even like what the team wants, but the main reason that I believe that we're not going to see DEC rise above its peg for a long time is due to the fact that all of that company revenue coming in through pack sales will need to be liquidated at some point. So here's the thing. The team is doing well on, capital right now. They have enough to invest and keep the game running for a couple of years, according to Agrode. And, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of expansion. There's a lot of things that they're doing. So what they're going to do is offer the pack sales for DEC and then sit on that DEC. Now, for them, you have to keep in mind, they could, if they really, really need the money, right? If they really need the capital to spend, to pay salaries, whatever it is, they could sell it at whatever price they would want, convert that into dollars or whatever they need to pay out with. And that will end up being, the source of revenue for them, but they're not getting the maximum amount. And keep in mind that anytime there's sell pressure, and especially from the team, which is probably going to be acquiring a ton of DEC, that's going to be a significant, downward price action on the market. So when we're looking at this, my thought process is the team can probably sit on all of this DEC that they'll be accumulating, and whenever it gets back up to its peg, or maybe just goes slightly above its peg right now to the 0.0011, right? We're 10% above the peg. These would be the opportunities where the team would, come in and sell a small amount to convert back to dollars or convert back to whatever currency they're using to pay all of their bills, all their salaries, whatever expenses that they have. Whenever it pops up above this amount, they can come in and sell to get it back down to its intended peg, right? So the team, in my opinion, and if I was running the team, this is exactly what I would be doing, is waiting until the demand got high enough that we see, it either being at its peg or slightly above its peg, and then be that top pressure, right? That top kind of boundary or limit that allows, for DEC to be much more stable. So we already know what the bottom limit is going to be. And I think from what I'm saying, or for what I'm sharing here, is what is going to be the top limit. So I can see DEC staying relatively stable. Now, I would say more like if I had to give a chance to if we're going to go up or down, it's definitely down, right? Because the demand is the demand is really the big question mark here. Like we know that there's money in the space, but we don't know how much. We know that there's demand in the space, but we don't know how much. So, we've seen certain things like Waka sell out like crazy. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the validator nodes. And it'll also be interesting to see what happens after the airdrop finishes and if a lot of that DEC that was printed over this past year ends up getting put into packs. But either way, there is a ton of DEC that needs to make its way back into circulation. And when it does, that will like hyperinflate the value of DEC, and therefore, I think will cause the price to go down quite a bit, which is something that we've all been expecting to a certain extent. But like I said, if anybody's thinking that DEC can make a run back up, if the team is sitting on all this DEC, I would say that, they are well within their rights to be selling it and keeping it stable. And they would have every reason to do so if they want it to be a stable coin. So everything that they're collecting or acquiring for it, whenever sales happen because of it going below the peg, therefore, whenever there's demand coming in, such as maybe, a new guild comes in, like an external guild that comes in and wants to create a new guild within the game, right? So external guild, internal guild, and all of a sudden you have to spend all that DEC for guilds. That could be huge demand coming in for DEC, spike the price up a little bit. And then the team comes in and normalizes the price by selling out of some of the DEC they are holding onto in order to pay off their expenses. So long term, I see this being relatively stable, at least on the high end. And I'm hoping, at least with the team's intention to keep it stable on the low end, we don't see too big of a slide down below the peg. I mean, obviously, if that ends up happening, the people who are here during that time, I think will benefit greatly just due to the fact that there's going to be demand in terms of people wanting to level up guilds or spend on potions or whatever the case is, right? So there will always be a small demand there because players like me who plan on sticking around for the long term through thick and thin are going to come in and want to buy. And here's actually the kind of like kicker or extra thing. Like, it's, if we go very below the peg, then what ends up happening is less DEC is printed, meaning that there's less in circulation. So if there's less supply and the same demand, then, you know, the economics will shift towards the price going back up, right? And if there's more demand that comes in with less supply, then even more so, we could see that price tick back up. So it's a very interesting dynamic here. I'm very excited to see how things play out after the airdrop. But from looking at this, it seems as though we're going to have a good way to back the low side of the stablecoin through the sales of packs, as well as the upside of the stablecoin to make sure it doesn't run too hot, just by the team allowing, you know, the team selling off whatever reserves that they have in order to cover their expenses. So that's all I have in this video today. Just wanted to share it with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think will happen short, medium, and long term, and we'll take the conversation there. Have an amazing rest of your day. I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.